Hey YouTube, it's me, Brandon Colonel. The next video that I've got for you guys is an EDC video. Just the just the things that I've been carrying around as what I carry every single day with me. Um, and so this is going to be more than just knives. Um, First and foremost, the thing that I've basically had in my pocket since even before I started carrying knives is a cleaning cloth. This has always been in my pocket basically since first grade. This exact cleaning cloth. Um, since I have glasses, obviously I'm going to get crap on it, and so I need to find something to clean it off. This is always in my pocket, and I also always have some kind of a tube of chapstick, whether it's this Carmex. That changes just depending on what I feel like. What I feel like buying. This works, but I prefer Carmex. But yeah, so these two things are the only two things in my front right pocket besides my knife. Uh, Next thing that's been with me for at least the past 14 years is my wallet. This specific wallet. It is an Air Force wallet, genuine cowhide leather, uh, and I've washed this thing at least 3 times accidentally. It's been in the lake with me, and again, accidentally. Didn't mean exactly to fall out of the boat. But yeah, so just your standard trifold wallet um, holds up very nicely. And if you see this little indentation in the back, um, it's because at all times I always keep my Challenger coin, not Challenger, my challenge coin in here. This is something that I got while I was in JROTC. Um, it's when I finally achieved the rank of full colonel in JROTC. Then I got a challenge coin to go along with it. And and from everything that I've heard, um, people who have these never go anywhere without them. So I decided that I wouldn't either, and so I put mine in my wallet, and it um, basically the wallet has formed around it. Like even if I take it out, that indentation is still there. Wallet here, indentation still there. But yeah, so I found that a little funny. But but yeah, so everywhere that my wallet is, so is my challenge coin. The next thing that is always on my person is my lanyard, which is attached to a carabiner. I've always got it on my front right belt loop, and it's this is all made out of paracord, made it all myself. Probably had this for about maybe the past 3 or 4 years, maybe, in this setup. Um, it's got my keys, um, keys to my car. Both of these are my car. Keys to my house, and 2 different locks that I used at college, along with uh, my car's remote. Like I said, just attached to a small carabiner. Everywhere that I'm in my everyday clothes, that all goes with me. And recently, I just got a new phone, which any of you guys that watch the Musashi White Falcon Katana video would also know this. But the specific phone that I got is the Droid Max. I did get the side case for it, so that way it's just easily accessible. Yeah, the Droid Max, very good phone, highly recommend it. Also highly recommend the case. Maybe like an extra 20 to 30 bucks, but it'll definitely be worth it, especially if you're paying this much for a phone. So, now on to the knives. This is the most highly carried knife in my entire collection. This has probably got the most widely carried pocket time out of any knife in my entire collection to date. Um, I never go anywhere without this. For crying out loud, I could be in pajamas, and this knife is still in my pocket. Uh, this is easily my favorite knife in my entire collection. But but it honestly sees about the least amount of use. Reason being is this is my tactical. And being a tactical knife, I don't really use it all that much. Now, whenever I'm around the house, and this is in my pocket, yeah, I'm not afraid to use it, and and I will use it on just everyday cutting tasks, but I don't really have any cutting tasks around the house. So, but yeah, so this is the most widely carried and probably the only consistent knife that I carry. Everything else besides this knife, which if I'm in plain clothes and I'm outside, like if my boots are off, so is this. But everywhere that I carry boots, no, carry everywhere that I wear boots, this knife is on my person. It is the CRKT Sting boot knife. And so yeah, this is a very good knife, but not for EDC. It's excellent as a backup tactical. I had tested it out a few times just to see how well it would hold up. It doesn't work at all as an EDC, but as a tactical backup tactical, mind you, it would work phenomenally in that role. Now on to the EDCs, which, by the way, just again reeling back a little bit. Um, Once I finally get a replacement blade for this knife, then because the edge is worn down quite a bit, and it's just not keeping an edge as well as it did before. Um, Being a recurve, and my first recurve at that, then this knife saw a lot of trial and error on trying to sharpen a recurve, so I've whittled away the edge tremendously on this knife, just testing it out on new and different sharpeners. So once I finally am able to scrounge up $30 that I can spare, then this knife will definitely have a new blade, and I'll finally be able to switch out this knife every once in a while with this one. But yeah, so finally getting onto the actual EDC knives. I have been switching out tremendously the different knives I've been carrying. Honestly, I don't think there's more than 3 consecutive days that I've carried the same pocket knife. I I think that I started off EDCing the Kershaw Skyline. Where did that thing go? And I'm apparently losing knives here. Well, eventually it'll come up. So instead, I will start off with the Kershaw Asset. This is easily the sharpest knife that I own. And I am easily getting distracted right now because I can. There we go. But yeah, finally found the Skyline. But yeah, so the Kershaw Asset, never really got to truly test this thing out to see just what it's capable of. But being the sharpest knife in my collection, I didn't really have all that high of hopes for just how long the edge was going to last before the edge crapped out on you. But to my surprise, even though the edge is incredibly thin and just razor sharp, like this is insane just how sharp this is. I haven't even stropped this since the last time when I used it, and it is still just absolutely razor sharp. Um, I was expecting that edge to fold over pretty quickly, actually, especially under some of the heavy cardboard boxes that I was cutting with this. And to my surprise, it held up very nicely. It is very strong, minimal blade play, but this one always did have a bit of a problem with blade play. The first one that I got before before I had to exchange it, that one didn't have any troubles with it. But this particular model, the particular one that I got, it does have slight blade play, which I just haven't fixed it yet. But yeah, so this has been an excellent EDC. The Kershaw Skyline, finally found it. Um, Very sharp, and I'm just absolutely in love with this blade. Um, Yeah, I was about to sneeze. Okay. And there it goes. But just a little bit of advice. Um, if you use this thing as any more than a light to medium light cutting, then the edge is going to crap out on you. Now, I was able to use this thing on about standard sized cardboard boxes, maybe just a little bit thicker than standard for a couple places, but and the edge was able to hold up very well. But if you use this thing on anything bigger than I would say a medium thick box, then the edge is going to crap out on you, and you are going to lose it completely in 5 minutes. I'm not even joking about that. You use this thing on a hard box, and it may take you 5 minutes, if not less, before the edge completely craps out on you, and you basically have just a pointy shank. Because otherwise, this is not really going to do all that much for you in in the way of hard use. Light to medium light, I would say this is phenomenal. Medium use, I would say the limit, it's going to be more limited, but it'll definitely work. So there's that. The Spyderco Tenacious, I was really impressed with just how well this held up as an EDC. Now, as a tactical, I'm still not completely convinced that it's tactical. Uh, I've been going back and forth on thinking whether or not this was a tactical or an EDC. My final verdict, this is completely EDC. This is nowhere near tactical. It's just not fast enough. You can show me any person on the planet that's gotten good with this thing, and I can guarantee you that they still will not be anywhere near as fast as I am with this knife right here, the ZT-0350TS. I can guarantee you there's not a person on the planet who is faster than I am with this if they're using this thing. I can guarantee you about that. And so yeah, this is just not fast enough for me. I I don't care what anybody else uses it as. This is an EDC through and through. But in that respect, it is a phenomenal EDC. I absolutely love it in that respect. It is razor sharp. I don't even think that I've stropped, sharpened, done anything to it since I last carried it. And this is still absolutely razor sharp. Moving on to the next knife, the Kershaw Burst, which is now a discontinued pocket knife. Uh, Phenomenal. I absolutely love this thing. If you guys can find this anywhere, I highly recommend that you pick it up. This is absolutely phenomenal. I love the ergonomics. The jimping is very good on it, and all in all, this is just an excellent and phenomenal knife. Let's go on to the Kershaw Volt 2. This has probably seen some of the most pocket time in the sense of actual EDC cutting use. I probably carried this at work for a total of 5 days, I think. Yeah, I want to say 5 days. So this has seen quite a bit of use, quite a bit of action, and it has held up phenomenally. And yeah, I just absolutely love this knife. It holds up very well, holds up just a fantastic edge, and the ergonomics on it are just completely, they're just excellent. That's really all that I can say, is it's excellent. And the gripping though, the texturing here, it may look like it's heavily textured, but that is very slick. It provides no traction whatsoever. But yeah, so this is a really good EDC. Recommend it to anybody. On to the next knife. Let's see. There we go. The CRKT Incendor. I still have not reviewed this knife. But that's because I'm trying to find something that I like about it, or at least I was trying to find something that I like about it. I have officially come to the decision this is just a terrible, terrible EDC. This is a terrible tactical, terrible EDC, which honestly I think it could be fixed. not by me, but by CRKT. I think that they would definitely have to fix this thing. I say that the hollow grind maybe needs to be a little bit steeper, and so that way it can just get sharper. But honestly, it is very sharp. It is a decently sharp blade, but just with how thick it is in some areas, it leaves something to be desired. There's just something about the edge geometry that there's just not enough cutting power in this thing, and really I don't know what else to say about it. Another thing that I just don't care for at all in any way, shape, or form is a pocket clip. It is just too strong. I mean, I can't even lift that thing up when I'm putting all of my force behind it. I can't lift that thing up. It is just too freakishly strong. And so even attempting to get this thing out of your pocket, much less in your pocket, is a chore in and of itself. I mean, honestly, for some of the cutting tasks that I tried to use this thing for, I think that I spent more time trying to get this thing in and out of my pocket individually than I did actually on the cutting task. Like, honestly, with the combined time of getting it in my pocket, getting it out of my pocket, and actually spending the time to cut the box, not even joking, I think it would have been easier if I had just simply torn the box open or tore the box and just to break it down than it would have been to get this thing out, use it, and then put it back up. I truly do think it would have taken less time to just simply tear it. Let's see, the next knife that I've been EDCing, I think this got 1 total day of use, the Kershaw Clash. For one, the day that I used it, I cut myself, and that in and of itself was enough to put me off to the knife just a little bit. Not enough to stop carrying it entirely, but I do not think that I will carry this thing for EDC for quite some time, if ever again, because more than just simply cutting myself, this thing is a terrible EDC. Now, for using it as, say, just a random cutting task, if this is the only knife on you, yeah, this will definitely work. But there are so many other knives that are just better for the job. I mean, the knife is just phenomenally sharp, just fantastically sharp. But when you're actually using this thing as an EDC, there's just something about the recurve that it gets in the way. There's just something about a recurve. I don't quite know what it is, but it does get in the way. And especially with breaking down boxes the way that I need to, a recurve is not what I need. And so basically anything with either a straight blade or a knife that has a little bit more belly to it, any knife like that is definitely going to do much better. This is probably one of the better cutters that I've had, just because of the belly on it. And so this is, yeah, like I said, this is probably one of the better cutters. This did virtually nothing for me. I think that I was spending twice as long cutting with this as I did with any of my other knives. Not because it had more cutting tasks to do, but just because it took twice as long. Probably the only knife that didn't take twice as long was this. And that was because I spent more time getting it out, and just because of the edge geometry, it just didn't cut as fast. Now, cutting off the flaps, it excelled at that. But breaking down a box, no. This knife just, it left a lot to be desired. But yeah, so as a tactical, this knife would be phenomenal. As an EDC, I would say look elsewhere, because this just does not work. And as far as other things that I carry, actually forgot to get these out of my pocket, as I always carry them, rarely use them, so it's a little bit more difficult to think about. I've always got some little bag with some extra change in it. I've always got this little mini style can't talk. This little Swiss Army style knife, just like the mini Swiss kind of thing. Has all the standard attachments: the small blade, the nail file, and the small pair of scissors. Just the standard stuff. Probably the most use that I get out of this is just the nail file. Whether I'm just filing something down real quick, that like a piece of wood or something, I'm just kind of getting a light sanding, I guess. Um, this works pretty well for that every once in a while. Or if I'm just filing down a nail, this easily works. This I carry every day. The other tool is the Gerber Mini Suspension. Um, I actually have just recently used these. Typically I don't need pliers, but it's always really good to have them. And honestly, I'd rather have a tool and not need it than need a tool and not have one. Now, that saying is about as old as time itself, but it really holds true. Just the other day, if I didn't have these pliers on me, I can guarantee you a certain job that I had would not have gotten done. And so yeah, these definitely come in handy. They were spring-loaded. If any of you guys do recognize these, they were spring-loaded, but the spring just it crapped out on me. And so yeah, it is no longer spring-loaded, but it did used to be. Let's see, the blade on this is probably one of the worst blades I have ever seen. It is absolutely horrible, as is the nail file. The nail file, that absolutely sucks. As far as the bottle opener, it works, but you do have to put a little bit more effort into it. The screwdriver, it's just a standard flathead. There's not really much you can do to screw that up. The Phillips head, though, it's a little interesting. They're somehow calling this a Phillips head screwdriver. Since when does a Phillips head screwdriver look like that? So exactly how they get off calling this a Phillips head, I have no idea, because this has not exactly worked in that respect to any Phillips head screw I have ever came across. So, the other tools. There is a microscopic Phillips head flathead screwdriver on here, and there is also a set of tweezers, which the tweezers have come in handy every once in a while. I have used them. They're a bit small for my taste, but they do work. They're not the best, but they do work. Something else that I always carry is my paracord bracelet. Now this changes with the day. It depends on what I'm wearing. It depends on exactly just what I want to carry. I typically find myself carrying around this one more, and sometimes I even carry around this one. Both of these typically I carry around when I'm wearing something to do with the military. Like this is a military shirt. Well, not military shirt per se, but it is military related. Says Brothers in Arms on the back. It has like the insignias of all four branches. Typically, I start wearing these whenever I'm wearing something with the military. So yeah, that's what I typically wear these for. But otherwise, the specific bracelet varies from day to day. Typically, I've also got a necklace on. I just so happen to be carrying the another paracord necklace that I made. Just recently made this one with an arrowhead on it. But otherwise, I may switch out with a ball and chain necklace. You guys have probably seen something like this in some of my other videos. But yeah, just the stuff that I carry like that varies from day to day. I also always have on a starter watch, which typically I would carry around. What was it? there was some other brand that I always carried. Uh, it was a company that was bought out by Starter. Uh, I can't remember what it was called, but typically that would be the brand name watch that I would always carry. But but ever since Starter bought them out, then I just haven't been able to find a watch like that. So I've just been going with this, and this works very well. The alarm did crap out on me. The alarm no longer works, but luckily I no longer use my watch for an alarm anymore, so I don't really need that. I just simply use my phone, which actually I can't stand the alarm version on this phone. So instead, I actually use my old phone. I just simply kept this, and now I'm just simply using this as my phone alarm. So yeah, works phenomenal. But yeah, that's just what I use it for. But so I don't use this as my alarm anymore. But I'm pretty sure that's about it for my EDC collection. Once I get back to college, um, again after I replace the blade in this, probably my EDC will be uh, quite a bit more consistent. Um, what I can see my EDC being is most likely going to be this knife, and probably going to be either probably going to switch out between these three as far as the EDC: the Skyline, Volt 2, and the Burst. Um, my asset will probably remain just like my kitchen cutlery style knife while I'm at college. The Incendor will most likely never again see pocket time. Um, the Tenacious could possibly be taken back with me for pocket time, although I'm not entirely sure that I will. Um, I may take the Clash as a tactical, but otherwise these three you'll probably see the most pocket time as far as EDC. Um, this will almost definitely be retired in the EDC role while I'm at college. Now, if I go off campus, especially at night, this will be the first thing that goes in my pocket. I don't care where I'm at. I will go back to my dorm, and this will be in my pocket. Um, but otherwise, this will be my main tactical. So, yeah, once I get back to college, you may see one more EDC update, but other than that, I don't really think my EDC is really going to change. I mean, for crying out loud, I've had this stuff on me, like this has been on me since like kindergarten. At least this has been on me since first grade. This has been on me for about the past 4 to 5 years, and I've had this for 14. So my EDC really won't change all that much. So if you guys want EDC updates, just to basically watch the new videos that I post about the new knives that I get, because that'll tell you what my new EDC will be. Um, so yeah, like if I get a new knife, I can guarantee you that I'll see pocket time for at least a week so that I can test it out before I do a video about it. But otherwise, I'll probably just go back to the main knives that I always carry, unless I really find that I like the particular knife that I bought. So yeah, there's my EDC video update. And as always, YouTube, stay safe.